Hello, everyone, and welcome to our daily Link to the Past randomizer race. My name is Sorcerer Finch. I'm joined by Lady Laura Linda and Revolving Ocelot, pressing the buttons, keeping us honest. And today we have a pedestal seed for you, and being featured on our restream will be Lana Bean, Yunker's wife, Kaide Rukawa, and Smirk JD. Today we have a pedestal seed, which means that we are just trying to get the 3 pendants. Go to the pedestal where we would normally pull the Master Sword, and that will immediately take us to the Triforce room. We will pull the Triforce, as it were. We are getting set here in just a couple seconds. And all right, and we are just about ready to get underway. So this will be this is going to be sort of a more interesting kind of seed where we don't necessarily need to dip any of the crystal dungeons if we are lucky. And we're going to try to see where those pendant dungeons are. And we are underway about 50-50, starting in Link's house versus the Sanctuary. And there's an immediate cape over in the Sanctuary. We do have a pendant over in Desert Palace tonight, and then 5-6 crystal up in Tower of Hera, and a regular crystal in Eastern Palace. So, question in chat, where do we want to see those pendants? Ideally, Tower of Hera would have been a nice pendant dungeon for a nice quick dip. However, it can get a little bit tough to get up there. And we will have 2 pendant dungeons in the Dark World. For the sake of our runners, I'll suggest that let's say Thieves Town and let's say Misery Mire, but it's probably going to end up being like Swamp Palace and Turtle Rock for a change. Lana Bean is showing us 20 rupees over in Lost Woods. Meanwhile, Yonker's wife looks like might be going over and trying the first couple chests of escape. Oh, no, doing the tree pool right there. Smirk is going in purchasing some bombs. Just 10 arrows over in the drop down spot in Lost Woods. And Yoinker's wife is indeed going to the back and checking that first, at least that first check of front of escape. Meanwhile, Smirk is hightailing it straight towards Eastern Palace. It is a nice 3 items from Sassarola, and you get the green pendant knowledge as well, which can be pretty nice. Lana Bean is going towards the Kakariko well, start with, and Yonker's wife pulled a hammer, it looks like, in that first chest, so that's always good to see. And Lana Bean does pull some bombs from Kakariko well. Let's see, we get a piece of heart. Nothing in the bombable portion. And it looks like the front of... Oh, there is some blue mail over in Blind's hut. But yeah, that hammer does open up the rest of the front of escape for Yonker's wife. That works out very well. And it looks like for the low price of 100 rupees, you too can get 3 bombs. But yeah, we're probably going to need that hammer at this point. And Kaede is going to get those bombs right there, as Yonker's wife will show us the rest of front of escape here. Could opt to do like Dark Cross in the back, using the safe route to use those pots in order to take care of that mini boss right there, that guard. It's a good approach. But we'll save and quit from there, and we will see where we go next. Meanwhile, Lana Bean letting the bottle vendor know how she really feels. And does get the chicken clip right there, so you can time it so that you can throw a cuckoo in to the wall. I guess we'll just call that Chicken Bruno at this point. Plus 10 RNG luck. We'll still go ahead and buy some bombs. All right, and meanwhile, as our runners are starting to are kind of making their way through Kakariko Village, Yorker's wife is actually giving us Lumberjack Ledge. This is probably not going to be required, but it might be. And if someone could let me know, I did miss what that was. Lana Bean did pick up a red boomerang, though, and the Cane of Samaria. So the Cane of Samaria is in the back of tavern right there. Oh. And Lumberjack Ledge was a bow. That is, well, that's interesting. It may not be required. It may not be required, but my goodness. Lana Bean is going to go ahead and do the race game right here as Kaide, and it's going to go ahead and get those bombs. But yeah, with a bow, you're really hoping for a second bow, and race game pays out. There are the boots. And I think everyone will go ahead and pick up those boots. Kaede will have to double back to get those boots, but Lana Bean now has access to bonk rocks. You can just travel through the world faster, which feels so much better. And Yorker's wife will end up having to come back here to see what is... and I think it was just a couple arrows. It wasn't anything too special. And it's just 20 rupees in bonk rocks. But Smirk picking up that Cane of Samaria. And we'll see where Lana Bean goes after this. If she goes... Okay, so she is probably going to be doing some South Shore checks here. Gonna have to be a little cautious without any weaponry or magic. So, won't really be able... We'll be able to use bombs to take care of Mini Moldarm Cave, at least. And a piece of heart inside the dam. Smirk is going to go ahead and get those boots. Meanwhile, Kaede and Lana Bean can pretty much high five each other at this point. And yeah, we are just a lamp and a sword from Bo at this point. Once those items are picked up, we can take down Aghanim. It probably is still worth it. It might still be worth it for the bow, but it really depends. What is pod? Pod is bow required, so we still might not actually need bow. All right, and Lana Bean does take down the mini Moldorms. Let's see what we have in Mini Moldorm Cave. There's a fighter sword and the power glove. Okay, and a bottle and flippers. That is stacked. That is a stacked Mini Moldorm right there. So let's see, where does Lana go from here? You can do your water checks. We're a little short on money. Good bomb pickup right there. We'll see what's on the floating island. Make a couple of our water checks. Just a piece of heart on the island. Meanwhile, Lana Bean is going up to talk to the man underneath the bridge. Kaide is going up to check Ice Rod Cave. Question, would you do Out of Logic with the Fire Rod? Probably not at this point. And just a piece of heart. From there, let's see if... And a heart container over in Ice Rod Cave. So Ice Rod Cave is 4 times better, it appears, than Linus Under the Bridge. So we are just a lamp away from... Once we get that lamp, we will be able to do Aghanim. It's just, at this point, Eastern is not necessarily required for this Pedestal Seed. But we do have Ether Medallion and Piece of Heart up in Waterfall Cave. And Lana will be able to check what is on the Zora Ledge. Yeah, money's been a bit short this seed so far. Kaide opting instead to go over towards the back of Escape. And it looks like there wasn't really anything on Zora's Ledge. And there's the Master Sword on Kaide's side in the back of Escape. That's a good find. And with that key, Kaide will opt to go and do the back of Escape in the dark. Thank you, chat. $5 over on Zora Ledge. And that is an excellent question. Where is Fire Rod? I believe that Fire Rod must have been in Sasserola's, but if someone could confirm. Hammer, on the other hand, Lana Bean is about to pick up in the first check of Front of Escape. And that's going to be a welcome find just because the hammer does tempered sword damage. And Yoinker's wife does still only have that hammer for weaponry at this point. Desert Ledge, just 10 arrows. So nothing really to write home about there. Meanwhile, Smirk is going to go ahead and grab the back of Escape 3 here, get that Master Sword, and will opt to not do Dark Cross there. Oh, and Agina's K was the mirror. That's an interesting spot again. Oh my goodness. So Yoinker's wife was the first to get the hammer and probably going to be the first to get the mirror for a while. And chat confirming that. And Lana Bean unfortunately does get killed by the knight there before picking that up. The good news is I don't believe Zelda's Cell wasn't anything worth picking up. That's the good news. The big find was that hammer, but that does not feel good. So at this point, we do have mirror. We know where the mirror is. Yoinker's wife is going towards South Shore and Mini Moldorm, so we'll be picking up a fighter sword and the power glove and the flippers. Mini Moldorm Cave was a very hype cave. All right, and there's that heart container over on Lana Bean's side. And Yoinker's wife opting to use Canis Samaria strats actually to take down these. I can definitely understand Especially mini helmosaurs with the hammer. They're very squirmy. They're very squirmy, and the hammer really does not have a great hitbox, but it is a little bit tougher to hit them. And there we go. It is a light world hype, just without the baggage of Hype Cave, let's say. But Chris Wife does pick up all the items, and let's see where Lana Bean opts to go. Looks like we'll be heading towards Sasserola's, so we'll be picking up the Fire Rod shortly. That's gonna feel better. Kaide does pick up that Ether Medallion and gets a fairy back. That's pretty helpful. Oh, and Green Pendant is Thieves Town, so Thieves Town being the Green Pendant is going to be 100% completable at this point, thanks to that hammer. So in the meantime, we do have Smirk, who is climbing the mountain. And will actually likely be the first to let us know what the other pendant dungeon is. We've got Desert Palace as one of our pendants. We've got okay. So just 20 rupees in there, but did decline to save and quit there. So we still don't know what that last pendant will end up being. But Smirk, it looks like, is heading towards Desert, so we'll pick up that. Yes, we'll be heading towards Desert, so we'll go ahead and pick up that mirror along the way. That's likely going to be 100% required there. This might be a little bit rough. Meanwhile, Kaide is going to go ahead and dip into Eastern Palace here. It does have 3 items. It is not yet completable, but we might find a bow up here and not have to worry about Aghanim at all. We are still in the hunt. Well, I was going to say we were still in the hunt for the Moon Pearl, but I got preempted there. Lana Bean is also just about to pick up that mirror. So that's going to be interesting. So when do you dip Crystal Eastern for your Dark World access? Because at this point that's Dark World access. We still need another glove for Dark Death Mountain, but yeah, that's not what you want to find. Let's see. What do we have here? We have our Pod is our last pendant, and then the other 5/6 crystal is Ice Palace. So Pod, Thieves Town, and Desert Palace are going to be the required dungeons that we must complete in order to pick up the Triforce from the Pedestal. Meanwhile, Smirk is going to go ahead and dip into Tower Hera. Does see the first item. And yes, that bow, with that knowledge of Pod, bow will be required for this seed. So, and we don't know where that second bow is. If it is possible to get, if it's in GT, that if the other bow's in GT, you need to do Aghanim, or you'd probably at that point want to do Aghanim before going ahead and fetching that. All right, and Kaide just gets the big key, the vanilla big key. Lana Bean using that Samaria block in order to go up the ladder very, very fast. And does have the mirror already, so... Oh, and I guess that was item number 2 for Smirk, so that will be it for Tower Hera. All right, and that one dead rock is okay. Looks like Floating Island there was just 20 rupees. Fortunately, because we couldn't really get a great look at it. But Smirk is going to go ahead and go through Spiral Cave right here. Meanwhile, Kaede is going to go ahead and head towards Thieves Town and Village of Outcasts. Just a piece of heart, though, from Spiral Cave. Doesn't feel great. But Smirk and Lana Bean also... Smirk, he's going to go ahead and get about... what is it? About 7 items from Paradox Cave here. I promise commentators know our numbers. And there's Quake. Quake is not going to be required, however. And we're getting our first look at Village of Outcasts. And there's the Titan's Mitts over on Kaede's side. So, and while the Titan's Mitts aren't... Well, they might still be required. If we find the flute, we do have desert access at that point. All right, and so far nothing in Thieves Town. Unfortunately, I did miss... but yeah, all we need is the flute or the book, and then we will have access... Oh, okay, Half Magic was a nice find. Smirk JD did pick that up, and Lana Bean did as well as a single collectible collector's edition arrow. Only one of it's one of a kind. We'll go ahead and do a bomb jump there. Well done. And Kaede does get the small shield in Thieves Town. On seven hearts, nice thing is there's really not anything that would fighting blind. It doesn't matter what kind of sword you have. It'll take 9 hits total. And Yoinker's wife will be the second to get the Moon Pearl. Or, I'm sorry, the second person. And that is a good point brought up by chat. Right now, the folks who have climbed the mountain did not do so in logic. Without the lamp or without the flute. And without the flute, it is not in logic. Meanwhile, Kaede is going to go ahead and... Pretty nice heart refill. Pretty convenient. A lot of these crickets can deal pretty good damage. Fortunately, with Blue Mail, it'll only be 1 heart, but it still hurts. And yeah, fortunately, the Dark Room for... In order of... in terms of difficulty, the maze to get Gary Oldman from the cave over to his home in the mountain, it's not as onerous as other dark rooms. All right, and Lana Bean does look like she'll be heading towards Eastern. Meanwhile, Kaede is about to go check out the Maiden Cell, and we'll see if we do need to check out what is on... we do have a key. I'm not 100% sure what our item situation is, and we are going to go ahead and check out the big chest here. And it's for a second shield. So, still better to check than to potentially skip out on Thieves Town Big Chest. And fortunately, at this point, all of our runners do have a hammer. All right, and Lana Bean opting to take that Moon Pearl and immediately save and quit, and we do have the blind fight by Kaede. Blind is a unique enemy, and that is just takes 3 sword swings. Doesn't matter what kind of sword, whether it's the golden sword or the fighter sword. And down goes Kaede. Not down goes Kaede. Down goes Blind. And that means that Kaede is the first of our runners to pick up a pendant, green pendant. Well done. Well, Ice Rod, if Turtle Rock were required, that would be a pretty hype cave. That's still not too bad. Okay, maybe it could have been better. Could have been worse. All right, and we've got Lana Bean and Kaede in Village of Outcasts. Smirk is going to go ahead and go the more slightly longer route here, but Lana Bean does pick up those Titan's mitts. Meanwhile, Kaede checking out what is on hammer pegs, just 10 arrows. So at this point, we are on the lookout for either the flute or the book. Yep. At this point, for logical go mode, looks like we just need the lamp. We need either the flute or the book, and that's it. And that's it. Pedestal seeds can be very deceptive in how quick they are. And really, it's kind of it's more of a variability thing because we will probably have to go ahead and get that bow from Aghanim. It's just the question is where are the other items? We've got a couple outs in terms of either the flute or the book, but since they don't block a whole lot, they could be in a lot of places here. Question in chat, would I do ice? With the Cane of Samaria, I would consider it a little bit more than versus if I didn't. That's definitely one where having the icebreaker trick in order to bypass a lot of the circling around the dungeon, that does make that a little bit more viable, a little bit quicker to get and try to find the 3 items in Ice Palace. However, I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so yeah, it looks like the ice rod was the main find here in Hype Cave. Meanwhile, we do have Yoinker's wife and Smirk JD over in Skull Woods, giving us our first look. Nothing really so far. But it is completable with that fire rod that we had picked up. All right, and meanwhile, Kaede is giving us our first look at the pyramid ledge. And yeah, that would be rough. Book in TR and flute on a tablet. That would be kind of rough. As for the question for who knows about bow, I think just Yoinker's wife at this point knows that bow exists. Was the only one to check lumberjack ledge. So, and that's one of those things where it's a couple seconds of a check there. Junker's wife opting to let the wallmaster carry her away. Right there. Does get a bottle though for trouble. And Kaide is actually doing a couple of these out of the way checks, but they're checks that if you don't check them now, they're going to be rough. And does get red mail, so not quite what you hope for. And there's the lamp. Oh my! So bumper ledge, 100% required for that lamp, because not only and Smark is going to know about the requirement of the bow. So now 2 runners know about bow. That is a good check. And meanwhile, Lana Bean does take down Blind, gets that green pendant right there. But that's one of those things where it's like it feels good that you know you have that knowledge, and not a whole lot of runners will necessarily check on lumberjack ledge. And frankly, for pod dark rooms, I gotta say that he is inevitable. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and see. It looks like Kaede is gonna go ahead and dip Ice Palace here. Try to pull the 3 items, and actually, to be fair, it is also a 5/6 crystal, if I remember correctly. So, and yeah, we are just a book or flute away from go mode already, or at least from no mode. I get. But yeah, we do have. It is pretty. It has been pretty interesting. You know, we've seen a lot of divergence from all of our runners so far. And if you aren't already, please give our runners a follow. They're putting on an amazing show for us tonight. All right. And it looks like just a key so far on Kaede's side. Yeah, after beating Thieves Town, it again, because you do have Icebreaker kind of in the back of your hand, because you have that availability to you, it cuts down the time it takes to do Ice Palace considerably. Meanwhile, Lana Bean opting to do make a couple extra checks here in the overworld. Going to go ahead and do at least part of the Smith chain here. And we're probably going to hold off and see. Oh. And there goes that cuckoo. And there is a Temper Sword actually on Kaede's side. It's not progression, but that's certainly a welcome find, especially if you're about to go ahead and do Cold Stare while you're down here. And there's a shovel right there. Not necessarily what you want to go ahead and see. Kaede opting to check the 2 chests available here, and just 20 rupees. Just 20 rupees right there. Okay, and Kaede opting to set up a bomb jump. It's a very good job. Gets to skip out on a couple rooms, and we'll be able to check out IC room here. All right, and there's the big key, so that'll open up the extra check there. Meanwhile, Smirk and Yoinker's wife are hot on each other's heels in Thieves Town. Lana Bean is going to go ahead and pick up that ice rod momentarily. Meanwhile, Kaede is going to go ahead and circle around through. Go ahead and get that big chest out of... And good, remembering that you can use a hook shot in order to hook shot kind of on your way through. But you kind of need a hook shot in order to do that, so... If TR is open, would I do it? Probably not yet at this point. And Lana Bean really does not like shields. Was actually letting the like there take things until one of those things was a shield. Meanwhile, Kaede is going to go ahead and work on Cold Stare right here. And with the Tempered Sword, it feels a lot better versus with the Master Sword. All right. Very well done getting him into the corner. Does have to be pretty cautious. While Kaede does have red mail, well, apparently not. Apparently, did just fine. Don't need to worry about being cautious. Well, item 3 really wasn't anything. The Tempered Sword was the helpful item in here, and that is a 5/6 crystal on Kaede's side. Crystal number 1. But in a Pedestal Seed, we probably don't need to worry about crystals. All right, and Lana Bean actually looks like is going to be heading towards the pod area, which actually is pretty good because be able to go ahead and will not turn in the green pendant quite yet. And Smirk is going to go ahead and take down Aghanim at this point in Hyrule Castle. And a question raised in chat about Hera. Hera is completable at this point. It is possible now that we know where that lamp is. So that would also be probably worth trying, but it would just be for 2 items. And if you've already climbed the mountain, you're probably not going to go back for Hera unless it's close to a last location. Our key layout so far looks like we are bow locked as well in pod. Now, that's not necessarily an issue, because I believe Lana Bean will go ahead and show us. Yes, Lana Bean does have an available potion there. Does pick up the big key while she's at it. All right. I don't believe that Kaede picked up that lantern yet. That is correct. Just a couple bombs, though, for the green pendant turn in, so nothing to write home about. Yonker's wife will go ahead and pick up the Titan's mitts here, though. Couple questions in chat. Yes, there is a bow on Lumberjack Ledge, so Smirk JD is on the way to take down Aghanim. And then the mirror was in Agina's cave over in the desert area. We're going to go ahead and see how many going to go ahead and see kind of how Aghanim does with this. Aghanim fights with a pattern of 5. The first ball is always reflectable. Balls 2 through 4 will either be reflectable or not. And then the fifth shot will be lightning that cannot be reflected. Just like that. So for those blue balls, they basically get reflected and scatter away from you. And this is our first look into the mire area. It looked like... Let's see, I didn't quite catch what that was. And yeah, probably not going to turn down red mail if it's literally right there. And there's another bow. Kaide. So there is another bow. Unfortunately, Aghanim is not necessarily required, but Kaide picked up a flute. I honestly had missed that. Where did and that is actually go mode for Kaide. With not having the lamp, but where out of curiosity, oh, it was a vanilla flute. So Ice Palace 100% required because that's where that shovel was. Wow. Wow. All right, and there's the big key. So that's going to be a pretty quick. That's going to be pretty quick, as quick as you can for desert, honestly. All right, and Lana Bean is going to go ahead and check out what Spike Cave is. The good news for Smirk is this is going to be just about. It's still not the worst because Smirk is going to be able to pick up a bow here, and in this mode, that's not bad. The shovel was in Ice Palace, however, in Crystal Ice Palace. So Ken, to answer your earlier question, yes, I would absolutely do Ice Palace. All right, and Kaide is already almost at the Landmolus fight. Okay. All right, and onto these three Landmoluses, Landmoli, the Landmolus, the collective Landmolus, and there is that bow for Smirk. There's Bombo's medallion for Kaide, and there is pendant number 2. As a fun fact for Link to the Past, this is the only game where, while the courage, the pendant of courage is green, the power, the pendant of wisdom is actually red instead of, and then power is blue as opposed to the other way around, which is how all the other games do it in the future. So yeah, the interesting thing though is if our runners don't go to ice, there is still a path to victory here. Kaide is going to go ahead and take down Pod here. Going to go ahead and zoom through with that bow. Will likely not pick up that lamp over on Bumper Ledge. But at this point, probably doesn't need it, depending on Kaide's comfort with the dark rooms in Pod. And even then, with the... and yes, Pod is the final pendant. And the other thing is the big danger in Pod Dark Rooms is the Mini Helma room, where you have to face down against the Mini Helmasaur, or not the Mini Helmasaurs, I'm sorry, the turtles in the dark. But with a fire rod, there is a torch available there, so it's not too bad. And the big key is not bow locked, so it's not the end of the world. Yonker's wife did pick up that ice rod as well. Meanwhile, Smirk, and because Smirk does have bow, Smirk just needs either the book or the flute, and book could be in Pod, just buried a little bit deeper. that's what makes this mode honestly sort of interesting, and these pendants interesting, especially with the especially with desert being one of those, because there are a couple items that you can use to get to, or a couple different combinations that you can use to get to Desert Palace. My apologies. The book cannot be on the green turn-in, because we know that is 3 bombs instead. Yorker's wife is going to go ahead and also get the bow that is in Lumberjack Ledge, which does make sense. Kaide is going to go ahead and rush to the back after picking up that big key. But this is kind of interesting because Smirk is not yet in go mode. Does either need the shovel, which will lead to the flute, or needs the book. We have not yet seen the book yet, though. But they are the only 2 runners right now that have the bow. I can't remember if Lana Bean did see, if Lana Bean saw what was on. Lana Bean is going to go ahead, it looks like, and dip into Swamp Palace, though. Without the hook shot on one hand, but you can get pretty far into Swamp Palace without a hook shot. And this is why at least having the fire rod in pod is still worth it, because of being able to light these torches. And there are a lot of keys over in back of pod for Smirk, so Harmless Hellway is in play here. And here is King Helmasaur for Kaide. And there's the hook shot. That might not be the find that you want to see for Smirk, just from opening up a couple item locations there. It does make Ice Palace fully in logic, though, so that might be guiding. And there is Kaide's King Helmasaur going down. That is going to be pendant number 3. That is going to be a race to the finish line now for Kaide. Does get a bottle, and there is the Pendant of Wisdom. Wisdom for red. All right, and Yorker's wife is going to go ahead and start the Aghanim fight. And unfortunately, Lana Bean will not be able to progress further in Swamp Palace without the hook shot that is in pod. Ped is the Triforce. So once our runners make it to the Triforce and pull the pedestal, once they actually start touching the pedestal and there's no more button inputs, that's when time stops. That's when the race is finished for them. So Kaide is just has to get past that last guard right there, that thief, and is just moments away from completing the seed. And that is it. Everyone get your GGs in chat for Kaide Rakawa, who finishes first place on Restream and first place overall with an official time of 47 minutes and 27 seconds. GG. All right, and meanwhile, Smirk is gonna with that lamp just have a little bit better access to these rooms. But we are joined in chat by Kaide Rakawa. GG.
Hello, GG's.
Well, that was a pretty quick one, wasn't it?
I don't know what to expect about this game mode. I mean, it's the first time I play it, so I don't know. It was really fast, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you know, we're At this point, and kind of to give an overview of kind of where everyone else is at for your benefit, the other bow. Did you see where the other bow was?
No, I don't know.
Lumberjack Ledge.
Oh, I was like, oh, I should have checked that earlier, but that saved me. That second ball.
That did save you, and then
Wow.
of course Ice Palace for that shovel, for that flute.
Yeah.
So yeah, what did you think about? So that was your first pedestal seed. Well done. What did you think about that mode?
It's a meme. it's a meme. It's a cute meme. I mean, it can be pretty quick or it can be slow, I guess. Like if it's Turtle Rock, you have to do maybe GT 7 crystals to get Ice Rod, for example. I don't know, or stuff like that. So it can be a troll too, I guess.
Yeah, and it does definitely feel like if you catch the jet seed part of it, like as it were, then you're sitting good, you're sitting golden. And Yoinker's wife does also pick up that bow from Lumberjack Ledge. Meanwhile, Smirk JD heading over to the looks like actually is heading over towards Turtle Rock, or doing Dark Death Mountain first. But yeah, because so far you're the only person who had found access to Desert Palace.
Yeah, because of the mirror and the flute.
Right, and no one's seen a book yet, so.
I was looking more for the book instead of the flute and mirror combo, but when I found that flute, I was like, okay, let's follow this flute and go to Mire. And everything worked pretty good. The mirror in Agina and then the bow in Mire set, I don't know.
Yeah, that worked out pretty nicely. And yeah, I think a lot of folks are probably going to end up. Probably a good amount of folks are going to feel good about checking Lumberjack Ledge, but unfortunately, Aghanim not being required does make it a little bit tougher. And there's a mushroom in Hookshot Cave right there.
It wasn't that bad, that bow, I guess.
Yeah, the only kind of tough part for that, it definitely felt like, was you had to do Ice Palace. You had to do non-required Ice Palace, and Lana Bean forgetting about not having the hook shot does have to go through the loop a little bit. Does have to go through the loop a little bit longer there. Oh, right, and the lamp was on Bumper Ledge. I don't know if you've seen that, but you had the fire rod at least for Pod for the turtle room. So
I was thinking about doing a double trip to Sipstown by doing the Smith chain without the mirror, but then I decided to rush Ice Palace. So I got lucky with that too.
Still counts.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, and Yonker's wife is in Pod right now. We'll probably be full clearing at this point, and we'll pick up the hook shot.
What was it?
Hook shot is in the back of Pod in Harmless Hellway.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Lana Bean is giving us our first couple checks into Turtle Rock. Here, and nice heart container right there. All right, and Smirk does have the hook shot, so we'll go ahead and go the shortcut path. But yeah, this is definitely, if you hit, if you definitely, if you get to Ice Palace as soon as you can, because so far that book has just not been turning up. So
I don't know if the logic wanted us to do this, but if that's the case, then I followed pretty well, like the flippers plus mids plus fire rod, and then the float and the mirror.
yeah. Speaking of, how about that mini Moldworm cave?
I can't remember the items there.
Let's see. It was flippers, power glove, sword.
Oh yeah.
Lunch money from 2 years ago.
Pretty awesome, I guess. Getting a glove, and I mean maybe the flippers were not that great because I was expecting an Agasit, but it was pretty good. Yes. I liked more the maze race at the beginning with the woods, so having the woods early it's always nice.
Yeah. All right, and Mimic Cave just having a piece of heart over on Lana Bean's side. But yeah, we've got 2 photos. Oh, and there's the book. The book is in the Turtle Rock big chest.
Yeah, I was wondering if the book was locked behind the float or not, because if it was going to be a big trouble for everyone.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So yeah, either way you had to dip. Either take your pick between Turtle Rock or Ice Palace. Ugh.
Yeah, and that tie rod didn't help at all.
Right. Oh jeez. And yeah, Lana does not yet know about the bow on Lumberjack Ledge, I don't believe. So, and the bow, and the other bow, the bow that Kaide actually picked up was in Meyer's shed. So Lana can't get that one yet without the flute without the shovel from Ice Palace, which gets the flute from the vanilla spot. And,
I was screaming a little when I found the flute.
Right? Like that's and yeah, because that was like, sweet, we've got that access, and then you get Meyer's shed, and it's like,
and then I got the mirror, and then I got the bow. Like
I was like, I can finish the scene.
Yeah. It was really, really crazy.
Yeah, and just as a note, Smirk did also pick up that book from Turtle Rock. With having picked up that bow from having picked up the bow from Lumberjack Ledge first, Smirk is in go mode and knows that he's in go mode. So that's why Lana Bean is still in Turtle Rock. Lana Bean is still looking for that bow. Oh, and also still is on the Master Sword, because the 2 swords, because Kaide picked up a sword in Ice Palace, I believe.
Yes, it was in the spike room, I think.
All right. Yes, that's right. And then Smirk found his tempered sword over in Hookshot Cave. Just to explain why they both have tempered sword, even though they've been in different spots. And Lana Bean does take down Trinex very nicely. Definitely
pretty good fight.
Yeah. And there's a heart container, and at least Desert also was pretty quick. I mean, that's as quick as you can complete Desert, I think.
Yeah, more or less.
And it's also nice being able to go mode it and not have to check the right hand side, and
I had to do the torch and then the chest, but it was fine. I had a small key there for back for the back for Desert Palace back, so it doesn't matter at all.
Oh, let's see. I can't remember. Did you end up picking up half magic?
No,
Okay.
I don't have it.
Okay. So, by the way, half magic was Paradox Cave.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I skipped almost everything, like all the mountain. I only did half of Dark Wall, like the south and all that stuff, and then Light Wall lightly. That's it. So that's really huge, yes.
Yeah. And Smirk JD does pick up the third pendant there. So Smirk is now on his way to rush and pick up the Triforce from the pedestal. So and that was kind of the interesting about this one, just there being just so there were two routes to finish this. Your route was quicker, but there was a second route to do this.
Yeah, you just had to be lucky with flute plus mirror or the book itself.
Right. Well, and going into 3-item Ice Palace, which fortunately with the Canis Samaria is a nicer prospect. But all right, and Smirk is dashing through. All right, and there we go. And welcome in everyone from the Speed Gaming channel. And welcome in Daruk's raid as well, as Smirk crosses the finish line with an official time of 1 hour 45 seconds for second place on Restream and second place overall. Now, how close was this? Smirk JD finished 1 hour 0 minutes 45 seconds. Homemade Beer finished third place, 1 hour 46 seconds.
Oh.
Hey guys.
Nice snipe.
Hey, Smirk.
Wow.
JD, GG.
Thank you for the GGs. What a crazy seed this one was.
Right.
GG's, my friend, GG's.
I appreciate that. GG's to you, Kaede. That was incredible. You destroyed the seed.
I did a clown route.
Yeah?
I went straight to Ice Palace instead of going to Skullwoods and all the stuff. I skipped the Lumberjack too, so imagine.
Wait, hold on. What was in Ice Palace?
There was a shovel and a third sword there, the temper for me. And then I went to the flute spot and it was vanilla. And behind the flute was the second bow on my shed. And again I had the mirror, so yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so there was another bow available and you got the flute. That's incredible. And yeah,
I got really lucky with that second bow. When I realized there was a bow in Lumberjack, I was really surprised. Like, I was a little bit afraid of that check, but I got lucky. I don't know.
That's awesome though. GG's, congratulations. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but I sniped Homemade Beer in the race room by 1 second.
we were commenting on that. Well, and in the delay between the from the race and from the race time room, seeing that and trying not to trying to stay calm about that. But GG, what did you think about that seed?
Oh my gosh. Well, especially after hearing what Kaede said about the other bow and the flute and Ice Palace and stuff, like, It's incredible because there were definitely two ways to beat this seed. It's either getting that book in Turtle Rock or getting the flute in the other bow from Ice Palace. So and Myershed, so it's really cool. I've really been enjoying this mode. I think it's really fun. It's kind of like a cheesy mode, like you know what I mean, because like routes can go whatever, but it was pretty neat. I felt a little off early game because I like everything I did. I feel like I kept putting myself further behind. Like I went to Saha's closet first, and then the boots were in CAC, and I was like, you know what I mean? So I kept having to backtrack, and then I had to go back again to Eastern to get the Moon Pearl. So I was just like, oh man.
Yeah, it's like, of course, Crystal Eastern has something important.
Right.
Of course, Mini Moldorm Cave has a couple important things.
Yeah, I was like, ugh. And then the fact that the seed was just so open with the mitts and the hook shot and the mirror and like basically everything was available. So it's like, where do you go? It's like an ice rod hunt, like a true ice rod hunt seed.
Right, which I'm gonna go ahead and interrupt actually real quick because Lana Bean just made her way over to Ice Palace, so we'll be picking up the shovel. And then if she follows that, gonna get the flute, and that will be go mode. Well, we'll know it'll be go mode for Lana Bean after picking up the bow in Myershed.
Let's hope Lana doesn't leave behind the float spot. So let's see.
Yeah, that's a tough. This is a. And that's the tough thing. It definitely feels about this particular seed with desert being required, and there being a couple ways to get to. There being two ways to get into desert, and both ways are available.
Yeah, that was the fun thing about it. It's just like having both accesses to desert available like that. That's so I had a blast. I think this is a really fun mode. I'm glad you guys are running it on Speed Gaming Daily. It's just really fun to play.
It's been fun to watch along as well. Believe me.
And the thing about the time in the race room too, like I forgot to dot done. Like I stopped my timer correctly, but then I was like, oh shoot, I have to dot done as well. So then I went over to the race room and dot done. But I think it's even better that way because it's literally 1 second behind Beer. And what's even fun, like Beer, I don't know if you guys know this about Beer, but he was like my very first opponent in the ladder. And then since then, he became kind of like my mentor. So, so it's really funny that it happened specifically to him like that.
Right. Also, Lana is not terribly happy about seeing that shovel, but that shovel is going to get her over towards, hopefully towards Meyer area, and that's going to get her closer to go mode. Meanwhile, Yonker's wife, it looks like it's going to be heading more towards Hera, I guess, at this point.
At least Hera had 2 quick items, and you didn't have to full clear it.
Right, but it was one of the 5-6 crystals as well, so...
Yeah, I decided, I'm not going to chase the 5-6s on this.
Yeah, especially not being able to do Harapot without the hook shot. So, yeah, and with a Folly of Fire, Lana Bean does take down Cold Stare, and there is a 5-6 crystal for Lana Bean. Well, let's see. Yeah, y'all kind of any final thoughts about the seed? I know we've, when it goes by in just an hour, there's.
I don't know what much to say. I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and see. We'll go ahead and follow along with Lana Bean. And in the meantime, please give our runners a follow. They put on such a great show and do such a great job. And following really does help a lot, as well, showing support for the racers.
Appreciate that. Also, as usual, definitely want to say thank you to Speed Gaming for altering some of the times, giving some more availability, and thank you to you, Sorcerer Finch, for commentating. Was there somebody else commenting with you, or are you alone today?
Today was a solo affair, but we do also have Lady Laura Linda and Revolving Ocelot pushing the buttons, keeping us honest.
So thanks to them as well. But yeah, this is really fun. I love these dailies. It's just so much fun. So big thank you to that. And again, reinforce the GGs to Kaede crushing this seed. That is an incredible time. 13 minutes faster than the second person. So
I just got revenge about the ladder we had.
Hey, you gotta take it.
Well, but also don't sell yourself short. 13 minutes faster than the second person. You were the second person to finish.
That's true. That was me. Yeah.
All right, and Lana Bean is indeed going towards Mire Shed. Okay, so it is Bombos in order to get into Mire. The good news is we don't need to go into Mire.
It's funny because Bombos is behind Las Molas.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Everything is ridiculous in this city.
All right, and there is that bow for Lana Bean. Lana Bean is in go mode. Yeah, we'll go ahead and just gotta watch out for that mirror location. But we'll go ahead and fly over, finish pod, run to the pedestal, call it a seed. Meanwhile, Yoinker's wife. Okay, so it was a 5 rupee. Yoinker's wife is going to give us the Zora check. I did miss the credits. What the credits said, and we'll go ahead and see exactly what it is in a second. Not a great return on investment, turned out.
I'm glad to see Yoinker's wife did full clear Eastern Palace and did Zora. Those are a couple locations I was really worried about, like having, dipped out as soon as I got the Moon Pearl. I was like, oh man, what if Eastern had, and I'm not gonna lie, especially when you see like somebody finish really fast, you're like, maybe they full cleared Eastern and Book was just there. And like maybe there was like this super easy, fast route if I had just been a little more thorough, or like maybe something was on Zora and skipping that has cost me. But I'm glad I didn't follow that meta gaming mentality and just stuck with my own gameplay, because that would have bitten me pretty hard if I had gone back to Eastern.
Yeah. Well, and then the hook shot, like being in back of pod, was definitely in Harmless Hellway, also made things kind of interesting because on one hand, it's a nice item to find. On the other hand, it opens up so much.
Though, for me, the hook shot is kind of what led me to TR, because I went up the mountain, Dark Death Mountain, and, I was hoping something was just going to be in, like, Hookshot Cave or something like that, and then I went to check the medallion for TR and saw that it was, interrable, and I was like, I'm here. It's just as likely to be here as, like, almost anywhere else. Let's just go in here, so...
Right. And Yorker's wife is about to enter Turtle Rock and will pick up the book in Big Chest. Meanwhile, Lana Bean is going to go ahead and go through the back of pod here.
Oh no, Yorker's wife, go in.
Uh-oh. Although this will get Yorker's wife an extra sword. So it because I think it's the fourth chest in here. I think is where that sword is. So, just really hope to don't follow the mushroom.
Oh gosh.
Although also, getting that tempered sword probably makes the prospect of at least the prospect of Turtle Rock a little bit nicer. And Lana Bean using bombs here to go ahead and take down the shell for King Helmasaur, and to great effect.
Yeah, that went down fast.
Yep, and then 2 sword spins, and there we go.
I gotta learn how to do it that way.
All right. And with that, Lana Bean does pick up her 3rd pendant, so will be on her way to the pedestal, pull the Triforce, and close to finishing the seed.
Oh, I was checking something. The lamp was in Schoolworks?
The lamp was on Bumper Ledge.
Oh, yeah, you told me, sorry.
Oh, no worries, no
I
worries.
just don't forget. I just forget everything about the seed when I finish it, so I need to check everything on the bot when I finish.
Well, and it definitely was, and again, unfortunately, it wasn't really required, and you didn't have to do Mire in the dark. You didn't have to do, like, there were still at least the dark rooms that you had to do weren't too bad.
Well, anyways, I would have been fine without the lamp. I did a lot of times Mire without the lamp and all that stuff. Fortunately for me, so I will be fine in those situations.
Yeah. And in the meantime, Lana Bean has pulled the Triforce from the pedestal, and finished with an official time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 13 seconds. Good for 3rd place overall, and 7th place, sorry, 3rd place on Restream, and 7th place overall. And we are joined by Lana Bean. GG. So what did you feel about that seed? All right, and while we go ahead and wait for, we'll go ahead and get Lana's mic situation situated real quick. But in the meantime, Yonker's wife is going through Turtle Rock right here. Yep, there we go. Hey, Lana. GG. All right, we're still working on getting that situated. Meanwhile, York's wife is going to go ahead and continue through. Let's see. It does need to chase down that the bouncing pokey right there. There we go. And we never did find the powder. We never did find powder there. So, but yeah, Yonker's wife is still looking for either the book or the flute. We do know where the book is. The book is actually coming up. All right.
Still having issues hearing anybody, but hi there.
Hello, Lana. GG.
So about that TR play, thank you for the GG.
GG's, Lana.
Oh my god, GG, thank you.
GG is a good game. Well played. Well done.
So yeah, so what did you think about the placements? That book placement?
Not needed, and whoops. Ice should have been played first, I guess.
Yeah, Ice was, well, although, and this this particular seed was interesting because there were 2 routes. Because you went to Turtle Rock and then to Ice. That's where one of the bows were. The second bow was on Lumberjack Ledge.
Wait, Lumberjack?
So,
oh my gosh, I didn't check that, did I?
Was it just me and Yoinkers that did Aga?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, so that did make this definitely made this seed pretty interesting. Just from there were so many ways to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Apparently, I did it the wrong way.
Yeah, but you know what? Did you get the Triforce?
I did. Just 30 minutes after other people. That's okay. It happens. It was a fun seed. I just didn't go to Ice because I didn't have Hookshot. So I thought Hookshot may put it out of logic earlier, and it probably did, but darn it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is logic, anyways?
Just misread things a bit. That's okay. I still finished.
All right, and actually, with that, Yoinker's wife did just pick up that book from Turtle Rock from the Big Chest. So we'll go ahead and mirror and fly away and go ahead and take down Desert real quick.
Oh, lordy.
And Yoinker's wife does remember if you save and quit, well, you got the mirror and you defeated Aga, you're gonna come back into the game up on the pyramid. So did remember that? Yeah, and that's right. That's right. Yoinker's wife has not been to did not end up going towards Ice Palace, so no flute or no shovel, and therefore no flute.
Yeah, like I was telling Sorcerer Finch and Kaede earlier, the way that the seed turned out was similar to playing a true Ice Rod hunt, because there were so many different ways to get that go mode and to clear these pendants. You know, like going through Aga or going to Ice Palace. There were two bows available. There was the flute plus the mitts, or there was the book. It was just so many different ways. So.
But there was a fast way and there was a not nearly as fast way. That's what feels so bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Kaede just ended up going straight towards Ice, getting that shovel and following that to pick up the flute, and then to go to Meyer and get the bow there.
Oh, that would have been the play, right? Go to Ice Palace, get your shovel, get your flute, go to Meyer area, get your bow, mirror, finish off Desert, go do pod. So that's got to be that 47-minute finish. Holy cow!
That's a clown route, I have to say. I skipped Lumberjack. I had the boot, so that had no sense by my side. At the beginning, I went for the triple, but I decided to skip Lumberjack anyway, so it was dumb. And it worked out somehow, so that's stupid. And that's it. Rando being rando.
Where was Hookshot? I see a couple people have it.
So the hook shot was in Harmless Hellway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see doing that if you do pod early enough.
Yeah, well, and yeah, doing pod without the bow. So, because I think you go moded. Did you go mode pod, or did you just do the front?
I double dipped. I did the front and then decided to leave when I thought the only thing that could help me was a bow. So I was like, chances of a bow lock bow were very slim. So I decided to abandon ship there and keep searching.
Well, good news is that was correct.
Well, still, that hookshot would have helped a little bit, maybe? I don't know, I doubt it, but that probably would have just thrown me off more than the book did checking Ether Tablet and Bombus before going to Desert.
Yeah, especially with a potentially quick mode like this, it definitely does feel if you get too many items almost, if you get too many items, like, and you can just go all the way around while just missing the one that you need.
Exactly. And I thought the seed was super fun. Honestly, routed correctly, you finish a sub-hour, but one wrong decision or one wrong dungeon, and suddenly you're just taking the not nearly as fast route, but you can still get there route, and that's kind of what I went, I guess, with, and I'm okay with that. Still finished.
Yep.
No, it depends on the pendant dungeons too.
Yeah, very true. I mean, these are pretty nice pendant layouts, to be honest with you. I mean, your biggest thing, right, in this seed would be hammer and bow. Otherwise, there's several ways to get in the desert. And Thieves' Town is beatable without the hammer. So really, pod is your only question mark, I guess.
Right, and unfortunately, it was a really quick hammer, with it just being the first chest of escape.
Yeah.
Escape. And yeah, Yonker's wife did defeat the Land Molus and is on her way to pull the Triforce.
So it looks like she took a good route too. Aga, no Meyer area, no flute, no ice step. Okay.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, GG to everybody though. I mean, goodness gracious, that good routing with the 47. Holy moly!
Rando again. I just have to say that it's all about that. Rando. And just go where the items are and you will win. That's it.
Apologies if you're hearing the double microphone thing because I can't hear you guys through my headphones. I can't fix it, so apologies. So you're coming through my monitor.
That's all right. All right, and Yonker's wife opting to go through Skull Woods to get over towards the, and going to be going towards the, going this way as an alternate route to get to the Pedestal. But fortunately, the entrance to the back of Skull Woods is right by the Triforce entrance.
Oh, fixed it. Darn Discord.
Discord. And get your GGs in chat as Yoinker's wife has just finished with an official time of 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 7 seconds. Good for 4th place on Restream and good for 9th place overall. GG, and that is, that's everyone. And we are joined in chat by Yoinker's wife, GG.
GG's.
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 Only I can insist on climbing a mountain 14 times.
Nope, I'm right with you there.
I know the feeling.
So what did you think about the seed? Kind of the layout, the kind of everything?
Well, I want to know what Katie's go mode was. Because
We all
I
have
will
the same
let you explain
question.
if you want. I won't say anything. I will stay quiet.
So this particular seed did have 2 routes. One of them was to go to Turtle Rock and get the book from there to get into desert. The other way was to go to Ice Palace, get the shovel from the spike room, and then dig up the vanilla flute. And then take that flute, go to Meyer Shed, and get the bow.
who goes to Ice Palace so early?
Because
Not me.
we had the summary and I was like, oh, I can do Icebreaker. Nice. That's it. And it's a red crystal and I wanted to follow Mitch and Fire Rat and Flippers. It worked.
Oh, well, yeah, I did have that brief. Oh, there's Kate of Samaria. It'll make Ice Palace easier if I have to go there. But I just after that, it was like, okay, where is this thing? And why is everybody finding it? But
Right. Well, and desert's a tough one because there are two ways to get there. I mean, and then both of the bows were accessible. I mean, yourself and Smart JD ended up doing Aghanim. Kaide and Lanabine went to Meyer Shed. So we had a couple different routes here on Restream. It was great to watch.
nice, nice. I'm just glad I didn't wander around for an hour like I did in my last seed, going, okay, what am I doing?
Oh.
I literally had a day that day, and I'm so glad I didn't do it today on stream.
Oh. Still very well done. Yeah, kind of, y'all, any final thoughts on this seed before we wrap things up?
Thank you to everybody for restreaming and tracking and commentating. That's always appreciated. And otherwise, it was a fun seed. I thought it played out very well. I just happened to take the slower of the two routes, and that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with my route, and want to thank everybody, of course, for the commentating and the tracking and the restreaming, because without y'all, we wouldn't have a place to show off how good or ignorant we are, either way. And I want to let everybody know that you're the reason somebody smiles every day. Don't forget it.
100%.
Yeah, thanks for the stream and the tracking again. It's always fun to play dailies or weeklies. And also the restream for the people in the chat. Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the folks at Speed Gaming definitely do a great job, like putting these on, and again, I thank you so much, Revolving Ocelot and Lady Laura Linda, for pushing the buttons, keeping me honest, and for tracking. We do have a couple. Going to go ahead and check the calendar. Our next daily race is actually going to be our weekly, open weekly on Sunday at 5:30 Eastern, at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And then later today, we do have, actually going on right now, we do have a Super Mario Odyssey bingo over on Speed Gaming 2. And that will be the last event today on the Speed Gaming channels. But please be sure to follow Speed Gaming and then Speed Gaming 2 through 6 to get some more Speed Gaming content. We have a lot of Mega Man 10 tournaments tomorrow, it looks like, on the docket, as well as some more Super Mario Odyssey. And then, yeah, we've got the daily. We do have races every weekday, either at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern, or 11 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to follow those. And that will do it for our stream. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching along. I really appreciate it. I've been Sorcerer Finch, and good night, everyone.